Right, so now we are on the 20th of May in this series at 4:44 p.m. We opened two buys, one on two different platforms of the Nasdaq futures, one at 13,032 price with a stop loss of 12,573, and the second buy was on a different platform, opened at 12,974. So here are the arrows. So remember, we waited for the FOMC minutes day of the 19th of May. The price went down to here. That's when I opened the first buy. And then it went down further. So I opened another buy on a different platform. When it aligned with the 4-hour chart candles going back to the 13th of May, I decided to open a buy. Remember, we spoke about my experience of knowing that the Nasdaq futures were going to go down on the day that the USA FOMC minutes would be released. And that is when I opened the buy, is at the lowest point that it reached before this date, which was around about 13th of May. So now the price went up to 13, what is it at now? 13,425. So we've got 400 points gain on the one buy and 500 points gain on the other buy. And then yesterday when we finished off, I said it's now reached the big test. Because now the price is aligned with the highest price going back on this 4-hour chart, going back to the 16th of May. So you can see the price has been going down and up and down and up and down and up and down, and now it's gone up again. So this is the big test as to whether we're going to make any more money or any more profits on this buy, or maybe we should close and take the profits. But I'm not going to close yet because it is my belief that the Nasdaq price is going to go further. And I've got stop losses so that I limit my loss if I'm not correct. So here we are now, 20th of May, 4:44 p.m. GMT plus 2. And so far we are sitting on a profit on the Nasdaq futures. Friday is a tricky day to trade. I have spoken about that now in another video, so let's go straight past here. Now we are 4, 8, 12, 16 hours later on the 21st of May, 7:11 a.m. GMT plus 2. So this is where I just showed you was the test. So the price did go past the test, the highest levels reached before, and it's trying to pull up further. Okay, here's the buy price, one of them on this platform. The other platform, the buy price is just below. So as you can see now on the 1-hour chart, the real move on the 19th of May started at 11:30 a.m. So that was before the FOMC minutes, but it was on the FOMC minutes day, the 19th of May. So it started going up before the minutes were released. The minutes were released on the 19th around about here. So look how it flew. They couldn't decide whether the minutes were a good thing or not such a good thing. So some people bought, some people sold, some people bought. For this is the 1-hour chart. So for 1, 2, 3 hours, the price was pushing up and down, up and down. The buyers and the sellers fighting. So one wouldn't ideally want to enter when the FOMC minutes were released, because on the 1-hour chart, that price action can cause you a bit of fear as to what were they going to do. So I actually did nothing. I had the buy open. I was prepared to wait to see if it was going to go any further, and it took 9 hours. It took 9 hours. So that's where the patience comes in, for them to say, for the investors to say, okay, we're going up further, we're buying. And they bought again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, 6 hours, they start thinking again, or the investors are taking a break. They're not trading anymore, they're waiting. And then for another 9 or 10 hours, It did nothing. This was in the Asian session and the European session, so you wouldn't expect the American investors to be doing much in this time period anyhow. Okay, but the price is going up. From our buy, we are sitting on a profit. 15-minute chart. So what I've said here, at the same time period, it's just the 15-minute chart. I said the price is going to need to pull more up than down until the US market opens in 8 hours to get the 200-hour, the red line, the 200-hour moving average, to put it up. Because you see here, the price will always get the moving averages together, pull them together. Look here, they pull them together, and then decide what to do. So this price has got to pull these moving averages together. So either they're going to go down to fetch it, or they're going to, or the price is going to have to fly up to pull it up. And that's where the risk comes in. That's where your belief, your belief in what the price is going to do, and you watching the economic data and watching the news and finding what the Federal Reserve guys are saying about the interest rate and all the events that are happening in the market. You need to be awake, if I can use that phrase, to to be able to decide what the moving averages are telling you. Is it pulling the price up, or is it going to go down? Is it going to have a reason in the news and the economic indicators for the investors to sell off? And then they'll not wait again. Wait to decide whether they're going to pull it up or pull it down. Just like what happened here. They brought the moving averages together and then they decided they're going to buy again. Okay, we'll have to wait and see what they're going to do next. So now I went and had a look at the economic calendar for the day. Retail sales in the UK, any retail sales of any country is normally hugely market moving. And the UK's retail sales is going to be released in 33 minutes. Sometimes it's hugely market moving. If everything else in the news is A-OK, then one currency can move for good retail sales figures, for example. But if there's other things happening in the market, it might not even move all that much. It could even go in the opposite direction if they're waiting in the opposite direction to what you're expecting. So, for example, the release might show very good retail sales, strong economic recovery. You might expect the pound to go up and it'll go down because they're waiting for more data. And today is quite a big data release day. So let's go and see what actually happened. I've said never open a trade before an economic data release. Not ever. The price can fly up and down and up and down, up 40 points, down 40 points, up 20 points, down 40 points, and it can wipe you out in the process. So you need to wait for the release of economic data until you find a trend, until you see a trend. Is the price pulling up or is the price pulling down? Then you can decide whether you want to open or not. And there they release the figures. Very good figures. Very good economic growth, good retail sales. But remember, my previous videos, I pointed out that the GBP USD is at its February 2021 high. Me personally, I don't open a trade or a buy trade if a instrument or currency or asset is already at a high price. It's too risky for me personally. I don't open at high. I don't open a buy at high, excuse me. I might open a sell at the high, but I'm not really a person who, I'm not really a seller by nature. So I'd rather just leave that and see if there's a trend later and what happens with the rest of the economic data for the day. Okay, so on the 30-minute chart, 8 o'clock, the retail sales was released. Price did go up, but it's only 8 minutes. Only 8 minutes after the release, and the price is at its very highest since February. So I'm not going to open a buy. I'm not going to be tempted because later in the day there's even bigger market movers. Data releases, these will likely be the biggest market movers on that data release. Then I just went to have a look at what happened to Bitcoin while I was waiting to see what the pound is going to do, and you can see poor old Bitcoin plunged from 60,000 right up here, was just above 60,000, plunged right down to below 30,000, has gone up a little bit, but it's struggling. It's struggling even to get above 40,000. Pound, I said, did climb a bit on the 30-minute chart after the, oh, okay, it's coming down again, right back down again. So it did go up after the pound, the UK's retail sales release there, 8 o'clock. I showed you earlier on the 30-minute chart. This is now the 2-minute chart. Did go up. It's coming right back down again. So if you opened a buy at retail sales because it was positive data, either you needed to close there and take your profit, or it would have come right back down to the price where you opened it. The Australian dollar, US dollar is also looking a bit sad. I might consider opening a buy there when it's come right down to where it was. Yeah. Okay, so the pound went down, Australian dollar went down, means the US dollar is strong. So even after the UK had good release of info, it went down against the dollar. Australian dollar 1-day charts, quite interesting but boring at the same time. 1 day, so for every candle represents 1 day. You can see it's just been bobbing here every day. There's a tiny little movement for the day. It's a nice buy for the day. Tiny, tiny, medium, huge sell. Buying back up again, coming down again. So you can use this in your trading. You can buy at the bottom, sell at the top. Just be sure that there isn't something happening which is going to change this trend. Maybe there'll be an economic data release and you will buy at the bottom, and there'll be an economic data release that's going to fly it right down. So you've always got to have your eyes and ears open everywhere. You can't just use the charts. The charts will give you an indication, like you've seen in previous videos. Charts are very useful to us for the Nasdaq buy. But you've got to use the other data and news that is happening as well. Okay, so I bought an Australian dollar. I put a very tight stop loss for in case it was going to fly down again so that I don't lose too much money. But because of that trend that I showed you, when it was coming down, I bought at the bottom. Let's see if we make any money there. Okay. And then I went to the 2-minute chart straight after I opened the buy, and you can see how the bulls and the bears are fighting, putting it up or pulling it down. It actually looks like the sellers are winning because it's pulling the 200-hour down. See, over time, going up to 2 minutes, 200-hour pulling down, trying to go up, pulling down, trying to go up. It might go back up to the 200-hour now a little bit later and pull down again. We'll have to wait and see. The pound still struggling. It's gone right down to the below the price before the retail sales was released. See, the 8 a.m. retail sales was released by 9:30 a.m. What are we looking at here? 8:38 a.m. The price went right below the price before the retail sales were open. Okay, let's go back and look at the Nasdaq. What's it doing? So I'm now just showing you the day chart again. We've been looking at the day chart in previous videos. The 14-hour moving average, the pink line. Just make it a bit bigger for you. Pink line now moved down. So even though the price has gone up, the price was going more down than what it was going up. But the good news is the candle, the 1-day candle, is now above the 14-hour moving average. and it's just below the 100-hour moving average, the yellow brownie line, and the 200-hour line on the one-day chart. Look how it's pulling up. See, so the price, yeah, the 200-hour on one-day chart is actually pulling up. Otherwise, this line here would have been moving down, but it's moving up, so it's looking good for our buy. If the price action is pulling the 200-hour moving average up, price action is good for us. 4-hour chart, it's still struggling there, where I said the big test is. Still struggling there to decide what it wants to do, but it is pulling up. If you look here, the 35-hour and the 50-hour were going down, and now when it hit there, when it pulled up there so strongly, it's now started to pull the moving averages up. Okay, so the price action is definitely moving up. That's not to say it can't fly down at any second for because of a data release or any news that might happen. Okay, poor old pound still suffered, went down further. It is trying to pull up. Nasdaq is climbing, it's not moving much. It's in the European session. Sometimes it does move heavily during the European session, but sometimes not. I wouldn't really expect it to because the US investors are sleeping. Okay, the 30-minute chart, looks a bit scary because the 200-hour is above the 100-hour. Now, yes, the price has pulled the 100-hour moving average as well as the 35-minute and the 50-minute. Look how it's pulled it up. It's actually quite incredible. The moving averages were down here, and it's pulled these two right up and through. Okay, but now we're sitting with the 100-hour. The guys are going to have to make a decision because either the price now has to come down to fetch the 100 moving hour to bring it above the 200 moving hour. So it's either price has got to collapse again, or it's going to have to go up so strongly that it's going to have to pull that moving average up very quickly. But then on the other hand, it can continue to bob and just slowly pull it up, pull it through. But when that 100-hour touches that 200-hour below it, it's tricky because the investors using moving averages might believe that they need to sell. So again, it's high risk, but I've decided, I'm prepared to take the risk, and we'll wait it out to see what happens. Nothing much has been happening. Yes, the pound did come down, but it first went up, so it's really settled at the same price it was. So nothing much is happening, up and down, bobbing. We might need to wait for the next release at 10 a.m. You, sorry, at what is this? Yeah, 10 a.m. Sorry, because nothing much has happened there. There was some bad news for the euro. Remember the dark-colored rectangles are the biggest market movers, and the indicators have come out negative for Germany. That's the German flag. Positive for Italy, and Germany is obviously more important. Their indicators for European investors. Euro might have gone down. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, the Forex Live also said it was less than expected. Darker rectangles are the more important. I don't think I put the euro screen up here, but I'm pretty sure I remember it did go down. Now, if we go back to the Nasdaq, the 5-minute chart, what's the time now on this chart? 10 a.m. GMT plus 2. Look at this. When I said to you just now, it's putting that 200-hour a moving average on the one-day chart up. Yeah, you can see on the 5-minute chart. Remarkable how the price is. There's more buying than selling. Because look how it's pulled the 5-minute 200-hour up. But you've got to look at all the charts. You can't just look at one. 15-minute chart, even though the 5-minute chart is very comforting for me, I then went and looked at the 15-minute chart again, and those moving averages are still too low for me. They're not pulling up high enough. So that price might fall to go and fetch the 200 moving hour. But it's only 10 a.m., 21st of May. Americans haven't started trading yet. The pound, they just released more figures. This is the 2-minute chart. Nothing happened. There was a little spike up, a little spike down, and it's just carrying on jumping up and down. So I said, yeah, this is weird. Are they still asleep, or are they waiting for the USA traders to join? USA traders mostly join 11:30 a.m. GMT, but not always. And now is 10:30 a.m. GMT. And then I went and looked at the Nasdaq again. Price has been falling for 2 hours if I count the candles because of this 200 hour, 100 hour threatening to touch. But I'm not stressing. There's our buy price. Even if it does pull down to here to fetch the 100 hour, I'm not stressing because our buy price is down here. We'll still be sitting on a profit, and I do believe the price is still going to go up. Okay, 11 a.m. US Tech, beautiful buy signal with the 14-hour up here, 35-hour, 50-hour, 100-hour, just below 200-hour. This is a beautiful buy signal, but it's not guaranteed because it's gone below the 14-hour. It can now pull the 14-hour right down and over, which it might do because of that 15-minute chart and the 30-minute chart that I'm not ecstatic about. But the fact that it's pulled the 50-minute over the 50-hour, the blue line, over the 100-hour is a good sign. Okay? That's the buy price. That's the stop loss price. 5-minute chart, it's come down a bit. Remember, I had that arrow showing you the way that price was pulling this moving average up. Oh, it might have decided it needs to still go and fetch more moving averages, but it is going down. Okay, the Australian dollar, US dollar we bought just now is currently on a profit. Oh, my screen's got a bit mixed up here, but it's not a train smash. So it is, the Australian dollar went up nicely after we bought. And now it's jumping up and down, 11:30 a.m. Possibly US traders will join shortly, and I'll pick up with you again then. See you later. Thank you.